Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to see all of you here on this cold day in Tennessee. We are expecting some crazy weather, so I'm glad that we will get to look at some fun paper today and make some projects so you'll have lots of inspiration as we're going into the weekend. I saw lots of you, somebody even said they had their temperature right now was -5. So I'm sorry, but that is definitely crafting weather, so that's great. You can make lots of projects. And I saw Patty, I saw Tina, I saw all kinds of people out there in the chat. So I'm so happy for you joining me today. Today, you'll see in the bottom corner, I did put that it's your paper insider. If you haven't seen the last live stream that we did on this paper, you definitely want to see that. It was one of the most popular live streams. And so we are going to be playing with so much fun paper today. We're going to be coming up with ways to use this paper so then we don't just leave it sitting there and not working for us because it's too beautiful to waste. So your paper insider will be in the comments as well, answering any specific paper related questions. And then of course our trusty Rachel is there, popping in links and just really taking great care of me. So we'll always say thank you to Rachel. Make sure if you hadn't done it, hit the thumbs up and let me go to the overhead cam. If you're wondering what we're looking at, if you've never seen one of these boxes, this is called your paper insider, and it is glorious. So let's go through the new box. It's box 14, and this is the one that's just shipping. So if you have a subscription to it, you probably have it. All of the things we're going to do today, you can do with other fancy paper. So don't worry. If you don't have this subscription, that's fine. We'll just come up with some ideas with foil paper. We're going to look at textured paper. And then I'm going to also preview some videos that are going to be coming out with this as well. Oh, I saw a biggest storm of the winter. And also, guys, just knowing that it is this crazy weather, I probably will have to wipe my nose a few times. I'm a little bit congested today, so just hang in there with me. Let me switch my cams. Okay, let me put me up in the corner right through here. Okay, so we are going to look at this box today, and we're going to show you what all's in it, and then we're going to get working. We're going to make some amazing projects. I'm going to show you those projects really quick. We are going to do two, and I'm just going to do a quick little reveal. We're going to do two projects today. Did you see all that amazing paper? I'm not going to keep it super there because I want you to be able to have fun discovering these papers. All right, so I saw South Carolina. Christine, how are you? So when you open your paper insider, you've got this beautiful thing. We've got some watercolor paper in this one, so just some I think they're A2 size if I look at them correctly. Yeah, a little bit smaller, maybe a 4 by 5.25. And then let's open this box because there's so many things that I don't even have time to do in the live stream. So I want to make sure you see what all's in here, okay? Let me put this back here. And y'all will just have to excuse me. Even though I've already opened the box and started working on some projects, oh my goodness. It is so beautiful. So we'll have to unwrap this, but I want to show you kind of the preview here. Sorry for all the paper noise. So when I unwrap these, they're cellophane wrapped. I tend to go from the back. We are going to look at this beautiful blue foil paper. You can see that it's so reflective. You can see my camera's up above it. I am going to use one of these to kind of open the back, and that's just to cut that plastic. Oh yeah, popping in between patients. Are you a nurse or a doctor? Canterbury? All right, yeah, it's actually kind of nice here today. Like it's cold, but it's nice in that it's sunny and we know that things are coming. So, oh, hi from Canada. So here we go. So this is your paper insider, and I put how to spell it in this lower corner for you. There are they always give you a little bit of scoop on the types of papers that are in here. We're going to look at this white hemp flower tissue paper today, but that is going to be a whole separate video that's coming soon. So just wait. Oh yeah, I thought you were a nurse practitioner like me. Nice to see you. And then we're going to use some of these others in here. The back lists all the papers. I know that I probably won't be able to pronounce them all. You can see me in the reflection. Let's see if we can get my reflection. Okay, so this is a beautiful blue foil paper. This is something that sometimes I struggle with, is what to do with foil paper. But I have two ideas for you today, and we're going to have lots of fun with it. I've solved the problem, and I'm very excited about using it. Then we also have this beautiful, sorry, I'm going to try to keep my list over here. So if you're wanting to look at what the papers are called, plus I can try to help you. So that one was our royal blue. It's a foam board is what, or foil board. Nice cover stock and blue. Sorry, some of these stick together, so you'll have to bear with me. I think that's stick. Oh no, that's just one thick piece of paper. Okay, so this is just a sapphire blue cardstock. It's just gonna look great. Y'all know I've been having lots of fun with this type of paper. They call it unyu. I don't know. Beautiful blue paper. True. Very. And you know, right now I feel like these blues are so fun because you want to do things like snowflakes this weekend and all kinds of stuff. You've got lots of good blue. This one is a nice metallic. Look at that. I think it's called Blue Moon Cocktail. Then we have some really nice black. This is a super matte black, and it feels, the texture of it feels to me like you probably do alcohol inks on it. It's a little bit heavier weight than like a vellum, but it is really nice. This one, I created an entire video on this one. This one's coming in a couple weeks. I'll show you the cards in a minute. Sorry, it's lightweight, so I keep dropping it. This one is beautiful, and this is one of the ones they feature on the front, but I'm going to show you all the different things you can do with this paper. This is a rice paper, I believe. I'm looking. No, white hemp flower tissue. Can you see that? So I'll show you a couple of cards with that. Then, of course, we're going to use our chunky glitter today. Sorry, I told you I was going to have to do some nose wipes. Look at that glitter. I love this. You need a couple of tips on this one because it is very thick. But I die cut it today, and I'm going to show you a few tricks with that so that you can get some die cuts out of this, because this makes the easiest birthday cards ever. Just cut out some amazing things with this beautiful, and it is so easy. Oh yeah, winter blue papers for Father's Day cards are great as well. So this beautiful fuchsia paper, I am going to use this on one of our projects today as well. And I'm going to show you a way that you can kind of since it's a kind of a flimsy paper, it's great for tearing. It's great for so many things, but you can stabilize it, and we'll do that today. We're going to add it to some other paper and die cut it, and it looks so beautiful. And then I love that they also have a glitter cardstock in this as well. I think they're calling this magenta instead of fuchsia, but look how beautiful those look together. Perfect for Valentine's Day cards. Perfect. Okay, so we put these over to the side. And then we got a couple of other colors here. Seeing, I love that these two go well together. You got a nice glitter cardstock that doesn't shed. And then you have this beautiful pink. And then look at this one. This is like a, let's see what they call it, Dusty Rose. I cannot pronounce that, sorry. But this is like almost like a paper, a tissue paper kind of. It's a little bit thicker than that, and it's got embossed flowers on it. How beautiful is that? Okay, we're going to go through all these really quick because we got some great projects today. Let's see, sorry. This one right here is nice metallic as well. So we've got several things that you can try these techniques on in today. They've got some great greens. I always love a good holographic cardstock, especially holographic. Look at that rainbow. Oh. And then a few colors that you just are different colors. I don't have anything like this in my stash, so it's really nice. Hi from Pennsylvania. Yes, I think it was a Japanese design on that paper. It's called Dusty Rose Uzinshi. Sorry, I'm going to be terrible. This is a nice vellum, just a plain vellum, and I'm going to use this on our card today as well. And then we have this one, which is really interesting. It's got such a nice texture. I think you could do alcohol inks on this one as well. And then do you remember the red that I used last time? That was a really nice red metallic. This is that same weight where you could like cut this as a tag or an ornament. It's very thick, probably a little bit difficult to cut in your die machine. You may need a little extra pressure, but it is so gorgeous. If we have time today, we're going to try using this. All right, and then we got beautiful here. We've got some gray colors. This one is a kind of grayish white. We're going to use this today. This is another one of those foil cardstocks in a beautiful purple, and we're going to use it. Let me say hi again in that one, if I can say hi. All right. Yeah, the gold is double-sided, which makes it perfect for tags. We've got some beautiful vellum that's purple. We've got some purple metallic here. It's got a little bit of a sheen to it. Very nice. We have this one. Okay, we're definitely using this paper. It's called Glossy Gray Beam Gemund, okay? You see how it has this beautiful texture to it? I'm gonna try to show it here because this is what we're gonna do one of our cards on. Can you see that texture? So if you have any cardstock in your stash right now that has texture on it, grab it if you're gonna be making along with me because we're gonna do some techniques on this that are super fun. I love purple too, Deborah. That's true. All right, and then this is just a nice white. I feel like that's just, it says cold press, ultra white smooth cardstock. This is one of the ones they sell regularly. It's just a really nice blending cardstock like Bristol Smooth, but a little bit thicker than Bristol Smooth. All right, so I Heart Stamps is your paper insider, Charlotte, and she is gonna help us with what papers are called and things like that. Let's start on our first project, okay? The first one we got to do is require some paste, and so I want it to dry, so we're going to start that card and then we'll move to our other card and we'll come back to it, okay? So let me show you what we're going to use first. We're going to start with this metallic purple that we just saw. Super beautiful. Yes, it's reflective. And it's often, when you're looking at something like this, sometimes you wonder, what should I do? Is that too much? Do I just cut little pieces? But this one is going to, I'm going to use something just to kind of break up all of the brightness of it. And I'll show you how we do that. So we're going to use a stencil and we're going to use some paste today. Let me grab those. We're going to be using some, on this card, we're using some paper tray ink stencils. I'm going to use these little dots called Paper Tray Ink Perfect Present. And we're going to use these with our beautiful foil. And I never really thought about adding paste to foil, but I absolutely love how this card turned out. And I think y'all are going to like this idea as well. There are a few tips and tricks, and I'll show you some things to be careful of when you're doing it. Let me grab this. We're going to be using this paste. Any white opaque paste would work, I believe, but this is the one that I use, Texture Paste Opaque Matte. And it actually was the first time I ever used that paste, and it really did work nicely. So we've got that as an option too. I am going to use a sticky mat. Like, I mean, if I didn't use a sticky mat, y'all would be shocked, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and put this down. And it sticks really well to this, but you may need a little bit of tape on your stencil because this is so slippery that you really need to make sure this stencil is secured. And I'm going to secure mine with some tape. So I'll answer some questions while I do that. Yeah, I'd love to hear about your weather. I know that lots of people have some crazy weather going on right now, and I know that we're expecting some, so I know I'll be doing some crafting this weekend and getting lots of projects done. Yeah, I'd love to hear how much snow they think you're expecting. I'm in Tennessee and they don't seem to know what we're expecting. I think right now the thought is wintry mix. Okay, so I'm going to tape all sides of this down just so I've got a good, I don't want this slipping around on my super slick surface. Yeah, I heard that in New York is a lot. Okay, so like I said, we're going to use some texture paste. One thing I did want to tell y'all about while we start layering up this stencil is I am doing a class next weekend for the Cardmaking Stash Summit, and I'll pop that up there for you. I want you, sorry, I needed this too. I'm going to use this. I wanted you to know that that is available. There is a paid ticket option and there is a, sorry, sometimes it's hard for me to talk and do this at the same time, and a free option. So just know that. So when I'm getting this going, I'm just going to put some down and then I'm going to use my larger piece to spread it. Oh my goodness, Patty, 18 inches. So I'm going to use this to spread. And I'm being careful because this is such a slick paper with this stencil, not to move my stencil, okay? So be careful with that. Doesn't take a whole lot. And then we're gonna need to carefully remove our stencil. And then we're gonna let this one dry while we make the other one. I do have an exclusive coupon code today to Your Paper Insider. And some of these papers are in packs. It's their subscription. And their subscription is so fun. It's so fun. If you don't have it, it is a really fun thing. And it only like they only send it out every quarter. So it's not like you're constantly inundated with paper. It gives you long enough to use the paper, which is nice. And I really love it. I highly recommend, especially if you're a lover of paper like me. So I'm just going to make sure I got all these pretty good covered. See a couple that I took just a little bit too much off of. Okay, and then to take this off, we're going to be very careful, okay? So careful, careful. Still I'm getting a little bit on the bottom. Yeah, so thank you to your Paper Insider for giving us this little code. I'm so excited about it. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna take this off, and I messed this up the first time, so I'm gonna try to show y'all how to do it to not mess it up, because you cannot hit any of these little bumps or they just slide off this slick paper, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and loosen our tape. So I see someone asking, do they have card tutorials or is it a paper subscription? It's a paper subscription. I guess I'm the card tutorial person right now, and they have a design team. So I'm carefully lifting this, okay? Super careful. I need this piece of tape off too. Careful, careful. Whoop, there we go. Okay, you see how I slid it just a little bit on these couple, but look at how beautiful that looks with the white on there. Let me put this stuff in water so it can be dry or be cleaning off and not get stuck to it. And then I will clean off my mat and we'll move to our first card. Let me show you what our first card's gonna be. Let's get this one off here. And I do need to clean this mat up because it will get kind of gross. So when you're getting things off of a sticky mat, especially nice paper like this, just be cautious, careful. Watch where you put your fingers so you don't mess up your stenciling, and then set it aside to dry. And it sticks really well to this paper, so I'm trying to be careful with it. Okay, there we go. So here's our beautiful purple. Look at all those raised dots. Isn't that cute? It's still your beautiful metallic, but it just adds a little bit different to it. Oh, hey, Stephanie. Okay, so I'm going to set that to dry. We're going to wipe this off, and then we are going to get working on our first card. So we're going to be doing a Gina K card, and we're going to be using that gray Gamund textured paper, and I'm going to show you some fun techniques with that. It's going to be really fun. So we're going to have a really good time making this card. But let me clean up my mat, and we'll make a purple card as well, but we're going to let that one dry and make sure that we've got everything ready. So tell me if you have questions, anything like that. I know we're getting started. We're just getting started. I'd like to know what y'all are planning to make this weekend. Do you have big crafty plans this weekend? Anybody trying to get a project done? Thank you, Debbie. Okay, let's get that cleaned off just so it doesn't dry on my mat. Okay, so we're gonna need our paper here. This is the paper that we're using. You see this? This has an actual texture to it. So if you had some textured paper, this same idea could work for you. I just really love that this is a nice stripe, and it's gonna make this stamping look so amazing. So we are gonna stamp directly onto this paper, and we are gonna use the new Gina K release, okay? This is her new stamp, one of her new stamp sets called Happily Yours. And it has this huge solid stamp, which when we're doing something on a texture like this, it definitely is helpful to have a solid stamp. So if you want to, if you've been trying to figure out what you do with these solid stamps, why not try stamping them on some different things? So we're gonna try stamping it on some textured paper just to get a little excitement going. So we'll get that one out. I'm gonna use that large heart, and that's all that I'm gonna use from this stamp set. we're just gonna do some really interesting techniques with stamping on textured paper. So I'm gonna need this. Oh my goodness. Somebody said when there feels like temperature's -34. Oh, nice, Tina. You got some birthday cards. Good. Well, we're going to do a birthday card today, so that'll be fun. So let me grab my stamp wheel. So we are going to be using a stamp positioner. You can use whatever you have. I'm going to be using the stamp wheel. Okay. And it doesn't really, on this paper, there's one side that is less textured than the other. Like I can still kind of see the stripes, but there's a specific side that is textured. So make sure you pick the texture side up. Yeah, this would be a great, this is a great Valentine's card. It could be whatever you want it to be. I made it a hello card just because sometimes you need those kind of sort of Valentine's type vibes, but maybe not like just for your spouse or your boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever it is. Okay, so we got that. The other thing you want to make sure is that your stamp is nice and ready to stamp. So this one has already been stamped, so it's kind of primed and ready. And then I'm going to use just a very small piece of tape in the edge just to make sure that I've got this nice and taken here. And we're going to stamp this in the middle. We're going to start with a light color. So let's see how I did here on my dimensions. This thing takes up pretty much the whole thing on what I cut here. So I went ever so slightly inside an A2, and this one is exact, okay, for that stamp. Once again, that stamp is from Gina K Designs. It's called Happily Yours, and we're using the cardstock from the new box 14 called Gray Gamund. I think she put it in the chat. Yeah, party favors for a baby shower. That's a good idea. Nice. I'd love to know who out there is going to get the most snow. I know I've seen a few things and that quite a bit. I know New York's supposed to get a lot of snow. I'd love to hear how many inches they're saying you think you're going to get. And do y'all watch live streams while you craft? If I got brave and actually still if we don't get frozen and have an ice storm here and have power, would you be interested in just crafting or what? I'd love to hear that. Okay, so we're going to start with some Gina K inks as well. I'm going to be using these 3 inks. We got this one called Sea Glass, so this is our lighter color. We have a medium color, which is Blue Lagoon. And then we have this darker color called Tranquil Teal. Okay, so we're going to do some techniques on this to make this look even more amazing. Even if you just stamp it in one color, it's going to look cool because it's on textured paper, but we're going to add even more to it to make it look like it's got a spotlight on it. Oh no, a blizzard already. See that for Diana. So we'll start with Sea Glass. I do need to get a sip of water. Sorry. Told you I'm a little stopped up today. Okay, here we go. Sea Glass. And for this one, I'm not going to do anything except get some color down. So I'm just going to start adding color to this stamp. This one's a light color, and so I just want to get color onto my project. So we're going to just start stamping, stamping, stamping. Ooh. Ooh, diamond art, nice. I think that I will probably be making lots of cards. I'll be working on some things and getting some things ready for that Cardmaking Stash Summit. If you do decide you're going to that and you want to hang out with me, basically the whole summit, I'm going to be doing lots of different sessions, co-working sessions, but they're only for people who buy tickets. So I'm doing like some special Zoom classes. All right, so I am going to put this down and we will make our first impression. You're going to see, you can already see through it. See all those beautiful lines? Oh no, no electricity is always so bad in these cold conditions. So here we go. See if we need to add any more to it. And I'm going to carefully remove it. Look at that. Already it looks amazing, but we're going to add a few more things to it, okay? So it gives you that nice impression. It gives you those cool stripes, almost like you've stenciled through it. Looks really fun. Ooh, Hudson Valley. Ooh, yeah, they're expecting some snow. So next we're gonna do our Blue Lagoon. And I am gonna grab a blending brush just to blend it out a little bit, okay? So what I'm planning to do is stamp around. You see how this heart has an inner heart and an outer heart? I'm just gonna kind of add some ink around the outer heart, and then I'm gonna use my blending brush to kind of smooth that up. So I've got this Blue Lagoon. I'm gonna add it all around the outside edge, and then I'm gonna use my blending brush to smooth this in. So just kind of making sure that it's nice and smooth and it's kind of coming from the edge towards the middle. It just fades it out a little bit. Somebody said they love Zoom classes. Yay! I'm glad y'all are signed up for the summit. That's so good. We are going to be making some embossing folder cards, and I'll preview those for you in a little bit to show you what we'll be doing. So I've just kind of smoothed it out, okay, around that outer edge. It's not going to be perfect. That's fine. We may stamp it a couple times. So let's add some more color and to show you the difference. Okay. Can you start to see that nice darker look around the edge? Okay, I'm going to add a little bit more of this, and then we're going to come in with a darker one. So still Blue Lagoon, which is our medium color. Thank you, Rachel, for putting that in there for everybody. And we do have an exclusive coupon from your Paper Insider. They have $5 off a subscription, $5 off something in the store. Like they've got paper packs, they've got all kinds of things. So if you just want to try a little bit, you can always just grab a pack of something and see what you think. I think you will be very impressed and happy with your subscription, but feel free to do that. Okay, so I'm just smoothing that a little bit. Got some more ink. Since I kind of smoothed away from the edge, I'm going to kind of go along the edge a little bit. Just make sure I define it with this little ink pad. Okay. And we'll do that more with the dark one. That just gives us a little darker line around the edge. I don't know if you can tell that where you are. I got one little funny one there. Okay, let's stamp it again. So of those papers that I've already showed you, which one was your absolute favorite? Did you have a favorite out of this box? I need to put a little more pressure right there. There we go. Look at how that's, looks beautiful. Okay, now we're gonna do our darkest color. So this is our darkest color. It's called Tranquil Teal. And we are going to put this there. Oh, the code is in the chat. It's Nicki 5 off, I believe. But Rachel, do you mind throwing the code back up in the chat again? And just make sure you use my affiliate link when you do that. Rachel's also been throwing in the chat the latest class I'm doing. So we got lots of links in there. If you don't see it, let me know. So I'm coming from the edge and I'm creating a dark line around this. And that code is only good for this weekend, Nicki 5 off, okay? So it's only good this weekend. Make sure to use my affiliate link, which Rachel will be putting in there as well when you use the coupon, please. And we'll do some fun stuff. And if you can't do a subscription or you're just wanting to use stuff at your home, that is perfectly fine. So you see how I did that outline right there? I'm going to take this and dab it just so that I don't have any big streaks. But I'm trying to leave the edge very dark like that. Yeah, I love the purple too. I agree with you. Yeah, that purple metallic was fun. I am definitely a purple and blue person. I love those colors. I just love color. Let's go with that. But okay, just tapping along to try to make it where there's not any big blobs of this, but it's still dark on the outside edges. Okay, now let's stamp it. You see what a difference that makes? I love it. It looks so good. Okay, now this paper is a kind of glossy textured paper, so it is going to take a little bit of time for this ink to dry. So don't go running your hands over it or you're going to have some trouble. Hi, upstate New York. I bet it's cold there. Are you enjoying some crafting time. I'm going to try to get right in the center of that heart. Yeah, so I can still see that this ink needs to dry a little bit. Let me see if you can tell that up high. But we need to give it a little time to dry before we do anything else with it. So I'm going to let that work. I'm going to go ahead and add a couple of pink hearts down in the bottom, and then we're going to work on the hello. Okay, so let me get this stamp wiped off. That's all we're going to use our beautiful stamp for. So if you got a good solid stamp and textured paper, super fun ways to use this. Hi, from Michigan. Sue said, yep, she's definitely getting some crafting time in. Okay, so I'm going to wipe this off, and I'm using the Gina K Tidy Towel, which is nice to wipe stamps off with. So have y'all ever tried doing this, stamping on a textured paper like this? Let me put this one up. Okay, next we're going to use a couple of hearts, and I just wanted, it's almost like you could use sequins, you could do whatever. I wanted to keep this as a pretty flat card so that I could send it very easily. So I used this other stamp set, and I added some pink hearts to my card. And it's another one from Gina K. Let me grab it. It's called A Little Love, and it's just got a few hearts in here. So I'm going to do these hearts, and we're going to do these in a beautiful pink. So let me get rid of my Gina K inks. These are, once again, what we used on the heart. We did 3 colors. We did Sea Glass, Blue Lagoon, and Tranquil Teal. Okay, so next we're going to do Passionate Pink. Okay, and we're going to stamp those little hearts in pink, and then we're going to match that pink with this beautiful paper. So this pink, the reason I picked it is because it matches this paper so nicely. Look at how beautiful that's going to look. So we're going to use this for our die cut hello. Yes, Nancy said, how wet is that towel you're using? So it's not like wring out wet, but I definitely just ran it under the water. So you can't really wring it out and get any water out of it, but it's fully wet. Okay, so we need to do some hearts. We're going to do these little mini hearts here. And I'm going to try to do them all kind of at the same time. So let's go ahead and place them how we want them. Do we have any other questions as we're going along? I'm going to do our little outline heart right here. Really, these smaller hearts were a little bit trickier, so we may have to stamp them a couple of times because they're little. And we want to be able to see that texture through them, so we'll stamp those. Okay. So here's how I'm going to do my 3 hearts right in the corner. Passionate Pink by Gina K is what we're about to stamp these in. All right, and I know I don't do Gina K a whole lot, but I was excited to get a little bit of this release to share with you today because it's just fun to make some fun Valentine's cards, and it works really well with this. So I've got 3 stamps here, and I need to slowly peel this off. So I might actually add just a smidge of tape there because the paper's lifting off, and that's just because that paper wants to stick to our stamps a little bit. So I'm going to add just a little bit of tape right here just to make sure that we got a good solid spot. And we'll do our Passionate Pink. And you don't want to press these too hard into the paper because you don't want to smush them into that texture. You want the texture to show through. So just press the normal amount. Don't go overly crazy with it. The hearts are from this stamp set, and I don't think I put this on, I don't think this is a new one. This one's an older one. It's called Gina K A Little Love, and I could not find it on the website, so I'm not sure for sure that it's still available. Okay. All right. So I'm going to press these down, not too hard, and I may stamp them again because I want you to be able to see that there's stripes through them. So the tape that I'm using right now, I've got some painter's tape that will possibly rip your paper. You got to be careful with it, but I've used it so many times, I knew this one was safe. This yellow tape is from Spellbinders. It's called, I think it's called the best tape ever, actually. I may be wrong on that. If somebody else remembers what that's called from Spellbinders, it looks like this. There's different sizes of it, but I think it's called the best tape ever. Is that right? I bet Rachel knows. She'll tell me. Okay, so I'm gonna add just a little bit more, but not overdo these hearts, okay? Remember, we're stamping on texture, so they're not gonna be perfectly solid. They're gonna have some of that texture. Yeah, it's not from the kit, Misty. I just got that one stamp this time from Gina K, so that's all I had. And these are some older ones. So just pressing that down. Ooh, you can definitely see those stripes. Let me hold that up to all of you. Can you see how you see the stripes in the little hearts as well? If we went bigger, we would see them even more, but they look so cute. And look at how good they're gonna look with this paper. This paper is great for Valentine's. So see all this texture in this paper, and see how it's like it's a rippable paper basically, so that you could tear and make some cool techniques with it. So I'm gonna add this paper, and I'm gonna show you a couple of different techniques that I tried, to some white, so that we can die cut it a little bit easier, okay? So while we let this dry, you don't wanna touch this because this is a glossy paper. You need a little time for that stamping to dry. Oh, thank you. Rachel found it. Best ever craft tape. That's what it is. And I reuse it, so you'll see it'll probably be stuck on me somewhere. I'll stick it over here, you know. While you're here, if you're joining us today, make sure you say hi in the chat, and make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. The likes just really help us get seen on replay, and so that's super helpful. It's really helpful for your Paper Insider because they've got an exclusive coupon that's only good this weekend. So if we want to get this out to more people, then make sure you do that. And thank you. Oh, Tamara said that to her. I don't know if she goes by Tamara or Tamara. But thank you for letting people know that. I appreciate it. Okay, so I'm going to remove this from my sticky mat. I don't have to, but I don't need it on the sticky mat anymore, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take it off, and then we're going to prepare that pink paper. Okay, so carefully removing this. Look at all that texture. Isn't that so fun? And it was so easy. We're going to keep this a pretty flat card that'll be easy to mail, and it's awesome. Yes. Okay, so let me set this over to dry. I'm going to set it behind me over here. And then let's wipe off our stamps so we can put those back up. And once again, I'll review what we've used so far, and then we will use this pink paper. So I'm just wiping my little stamps off, and I'm going to put them back in their package. It was called A Little Love. This may have been something that she did specifically for the Simon Says Create event. I took a class from Gina K, and she had some special stamps. I don't know if that's where this one's from. I'm not sure. But you can find little hearts anywhere. I bet you got some little hearts in your collection. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you. Okay, so, and we've got a special coupon code today to your Paper Insider. I do want to pop this up while I'm getting the other paper and things ready, so that you know what I'm talking about when I say, hopefully it's here. Yeah, so let me move this over and get it a little bit smaller. But this is what I've been talking about, that I'm going to be doing a free class, and there's paid classes. That's what it's called. That will be in the bottom, and Rachel will pop it up in there. So let me start getting ready to get this paper, but I wanted y'all to have that information. So for this, I'm just going to use some scrap white paper, and I'm going to use this. And I'm going to show you two ways that I've looked at to add this paper and make it a little bit thicker so it's easier to die cut. Because if you try to just die cut this flimsy paper like this, it'll do it, but it doesn't hold its shape very well. And so sometimes it's one of those things where you want to give it a little bit of oomph, and I love that it even brightens the pink when I add it to this white. Now we've got a very delicate paper, so adding it to the white is going to be, I'll tell you what I did, because I think that it worked out the best. I tried it with double-sided adhesive. That does work, but if it gets bundled up, it doesn't stay flat. It's a little bit harder to work with. And when you do your die cutting, if it's double-sided, it's a little bit sticky even on this side, because this paper is a thin paper. So I would suggest using glue, and I'm going to show you 2 ways that I tried. And I think both of them work fine. Whichever one you want to try is up to you. Let me remove this. Okay, so now y'all know Stash Summit. I'll pop up my cards in a minute. Oh, good. Somebody's got the this paper subscription. So this is fun. We're going through box number 14 right now, and we're playing with this amazing paper. What is this paper called, Charlotte? Let's see if I can find it. This paper is called, I think, Magenta Thai Unruyu. I don't know how you say it. It's this one, I believe. Okay. She can pop it up for you so you know what I'm saying. Yes. Okay. So here's what I tried. I tried 2 things with getting glue on this so that I didn't soak the paper. I tried the Kathy Zilski method, where you use this little silicone baster brush. I cut off the bristles, and then you can dab it and do like glue dots. I also tried this. Let me see where it is. I also tried using a sponge, which I've got over here. So I just bought a basic sponge and started cutting it, and I used it for glue. And I really think that this way worked really well. So I've got 2 methods. I'll show you how to apply it with both so that you can see. But really, either one works well. I know I got some ink on this little sponge, but this is just a cheap sponge from Amazon. This is a silicone baster brush with some bristles cut off of it. Okay, and so you need to be able to put your ink on something so that you can dip it. So I'm going to use some scrap plastic. I actually have randomly a Ziploc bag over here that I'm going to use for right now, because you know we don't get enough use out of all these Ziploc bags. And who cares if it has a little glue on it. So I'm going to put some glue on, and I think I'm going to use a glue. The other nice thing about this method is like things like my art glitter glue has been stopped up forever. Like it just will not come out. And so if I do, I can use some of this if I just squeeze it out on my plastic. So I can just squeeze a little bit out and get some use out of this glue, which is nice. Anybody else feel that? I mean, I do that all the time. I'm like, well, it doesn't have its small applicator, so I can't use that glue. And I don't just go and buy a new applicator. I don't know why. Probably because I got too much other stuff going on. Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple of ways. So you can dip this in, and then you can dot it on. So that works. I felt like this gave a little bit more glue than I wanted. Do you see how much glue that does? Whereas this one, I could get a thinner layer of glue, and I've used this over and over again, okay? So I've used this so much, and you'd think, okay, well, it soaks up all the glue. No, it actually makes an even thinner layer of glue, and so I dotted it on, and I'm actually gonna dot over the other one because I prefer the sponge right now for this kind of work. So I'm gonna sponge on some glue, and I just need to sponge it on enough to fit the die that we're using. Let me get that out so you can see. We're gonna be using Gina K Hello die, and I don't know that it's called anything different than that, just a Hello die with this adorable font that she has. So it's like this. So we need our glue to be about that size. We need our piece of paper to be about that size. So I'm just gonna make sure I've got all the areas covered, and I'm gonna dot on glue to cover what seems like it'll fit this hello. I think I'll go just a little bit further out to the side. And then I can attach let's move our glue out of the way so I don't get things stuck to it. And then I can attach this piece of paper to it, okay? So let's go about right there. And you can kind of feel the glue on this side. So like I said, if you got too much glue, that would probably soak through to the other side. So right now I can kind of feel that it's wet under there, but it's sticking really nicely. So I'm going to do a little trimming. Yeah, I've tried soaking the tip in warm water. I haven't tried the dishwashing soap with it. I need to try that. Yeah, eyeshadow sponges would work well. That's a great idea. So I'm going to trim this piece. Hopefully I went far enough. Let's see if we got enough. It's going to be hilarious if that's not big enough. Oh yeah, that's definitely big enough. Okay, so we got our hello. It's big enough, and we'll have we could even cut out some hearts if you prefer cutting them out versus stamping them. If I have a die for those, I'm going to try that. I don't have a die for those hearts. Okay. I was about to say, I might try that out. And see, you know I didn't stick it on all the way, so I can cut this off. And I'm kind of taking my time with it because I want that glue to be dry before we send this through the die cutting machine. So I'm giving it just a second before we attempt that, because we're going to send it through a die cutting machine, and I don't want it to get stuck on this die and not able to come out. So yeah, so I just sit here and I don't even rinse the sponge with the glue. It is a little bit hard, but I just leave what's on there, and then I keep using this same little piece, and if I need to cut something off, I can. I've used this one and glued with it at least 5 times, and it might feel slightly harder, but it's still working great. So I think you could get a whole lot out of the sponge idea. I don't mind the baster either, especially if I'm doing like we might use the baster on the back of this because it's so delicate, but okay, you put the long hat pin. Deborah says she puts the long hat pin in to keep it in the glue and soak it overnight in hot water. Okay, so you take the top off, keep the pin in, then soak it in hot water? Is that what you mean? Okay, so we got this beautiful piece. You can see I did stop my glue right here, so I want to make sure that I'm die cutting from this side. Okay, we're going to be using the die cutting machine. It's the Anna Griffin Impress, and that's my kind of go-to die cutting machine. It's got these magnetic cards here, and we'll cut out this yellow. Cut out the hello. Why would we put yellow on it? I don't know. Anyway, sorry. Sometimes live stream is funny. Okay, so we're gonna cut this out, and I'm gonna show you how to delicately get it out of here, and we'll add it to our card, and that card is pretty much done. It's awesome. So let's send it through. Y'all pop up questions if you've got any questions. I'd also love to hear, are you scared of cutting up your good paper? Like, do you just save it and hoard it, or do you actually use it and often? I feel like I tended, until I started making a point to do it, I felt like I yellow. I feel like I was really bad about just setting it aside and not using the paper. So I want you to feel like you have ideas and you have ways that you can use it and not worry about saving it, because you know it's just going to pile up in the corner of your craft room and collect dust. Okay, so let's send this through. Hopefully I gave that enough time to dry with the glue. All right, let's see here. So I'm going to be careful. This is a very delicate hello die, so I want to be cautious with that. Slowly press it out of here. Okay. And you see, if you did have, oh, look at how cute that is. Goodness. That is adorable, isn't it? Oh, man. So see, it all stuck together. We didn't give that glue a terribly long time, but it worked and it's stuck. There's not any peeling parts or anything like that. Yeah, Becky says she does a little bit of both. And I still have this. If you had some little heart dies, this would look so cute. So this paper is, I believe, mulberry paper. That's not what it's called. It's not what it's called on the thing. So I hope the paper, maybe Charlotte will answer that and tell me if this is technically mulberry paper. It's called something else on there. But yes, it looks like mulberry paper to me. And it gives a really nice, I know that's hard to see, but it gives a really nice texture to this hello. You see that? Isn't that cool? I love the sentiments from Gina K. Well, I love Gina K in general because she's precious and adorable, and I just love her products, but her scripts are so fun. So fun. Okay, so let's add this. Let's see if our card is dry, and don't let me lose my hello. If you wanted to put a second layer to make this stand up, you could add another layer. I actually did cut one out just in case. If we want to, we can do that. We can put them together and have it stand up off the card just a little bit more. That's perfectly fine. Or you can just put it on the card. The first one, I just put it on the card. Let's see. I think we'll try standing it up this time and see what we think, because then we can play with our glue thing a little bit more, because I've learned that with this glue, the little dotted silicone brush is nice putting sentiments together. So maybe we go ahead and do that. I'm going to use the silicone brush for this. See? Yes, okay, it is like mulberry, but it is a tie paper. Yeah, okay. So I would say it looks a lot like mulberry paper, and it acts like mulberry paper. How about that? Okay, let me grab, what was I gonna grab? Some more glue. Grab a little bit more glue, and we're gonna use this little dot one this time to put these two together. So, yeah. I don't think I need a ton, but we'll do that. Let's see if our stamped image is dry yet too. So here's our stamped image. I'm gonna carefully, now my hands do have some ink on them anyway. Let's see if it's dry. Not quite dry. I might actually run a little heat over that before we glue anything onto it. So let's get these ready and then we'll go from there. I'm gonna wipe my hands off because I've got some green on them. So it took it a little while to dry. I remember last time, I think I ran just a smidge of heat over it. We'll try that. But let's get our hello ready. The other thing about using a Ziploc bag here is that I can add my glue on top of this and be kind of messy with it. I don't have to worry that it's getting on a mat. Okay. Yeah, so I went with hello instead of happy Valentine's Day on this because I like to send like my sister a Valentine's card and just have them be a little bit more, especially if you don't get them all sent out and you want to use it for something else. I feel like hello and a Valentine card and the heart are not necessarily, they don't have to be Valentine's. So I'm just dotting on adhesive, okay? And it makes these little bitty dots, okay? And then we'll adjust. So I'm going to start from the middle, get this as lined up as I can. And then we'll move out. And then I'll adjust this side. So when you're doing these delicate ones, sometimes you need to adjust them with your fingers just a little bit. It's not going to be perfect. You might see some white. There's our hello. Okay. So now it's a little bit taller than our original one. Actually, I'm going to keep using this because I'm going to use this on the back of this one as well. So I'm going to make sure that the area is clear, and then I'm going to add some glue to this, and we may stick it onto here after we add some heat. Let me just do a little bit of heat, and I'll answer questions while I do that. Just to try to get some of these spots a little bit drier. Okay. There we go. Now let's add our hello to it. Where did I put the hello? Oh, it's upside down. Sorry about that. I was like, where did it go? Okay, there it is. Okay, so you could also just dot your adhesive on here, but when you do this way, it's not quite as much of it. And so if you don't want to squish it on your background, this is kind of nice. So is the sponge. They both work. So I'm going to take it and do a little bit of this. I love this heart too. And I love how the heart just like turned out so detailed because we didn't really do a whole lot to it. We added a few little fun ideas, but I mean, the paper really makes it on this one for sure. You could do the same idea if you don't have texture paper. You could do it with a stencil. You could like kind of stamp through a stencil. Got options. So I'm going to add some of this glue to the back of the hello, and then we're going to put it on our card. Okay. Use my tweezers too. Okay. Look at this. Now on my final card, I also put a black backing on the card, so I'll show you the other one. And I'm just going to try to line this up pretty even. And then hold it down. Okay, I'm going to use an acrylic block to hold that detail down. Okay, super fun. Super fun. Okay, we're going to let that hold itself for just a second. So if you don't have an acrylic block like this, you need something nice and flat for these detailed type things that you don't want to stick your hands back into the ink, but you're just holding something down. I really love it. So I got that there. Nice. Let me hold that up for you. I'm going to set this over here. Sorry, dropping the acrylic block. That's how you know it's live if I'm dropping stuff, right? Okay, so here are the cards that we did. So we did this one today, and it's still drying a little bit, but I think I got a little darker on the outside, and I think I like that better. Look how I did that outside line extra dark. I like that. This one has the hello popped up a little bit, and that one is just one layer. So this has an extra layer of hello on it. So let me just hold them up close to you so that you can see both of them. And y'all tell me too, do y'all like to do a back of black, or do you like to keep it just the plain white? I'm curious if you matte your cards or not. So here's the two differences, and like I said, not a whole lot, but I did add some extra dark on this one. Kind of like how that turned out. And do you see that texture and how it makes that heart, how it really shows up with that heart? Look at it there. You can really see it there. Nice. I need to scroll down in my comments really quick. Okay. Card 2, yeah. I like the dark as well too. Yeah, I didn't really stamp with acrylic blocks much, but I use them a lot for holding things down. So you can see the difference in that one that we popped up the hello a little bit versus this one, which is just one layer. See that? So you got all kinds of options, and you could do this with so many different colors. It'd be really fun to do some purple hearts or some pink hearts. It's so fun. So I'm going to set these two aside, and we're going to start working on that purple one. I want to check and see if that paste is dry, but we're going to work on that beautiful chunky glitter. We're going to work with this, which is a little bit of a challenge. So I'm going to show you some tips and tricks with it, okay? Look at how beautiful that is. Let me set these aside, and then we will start playing with this. All right, so see, I see some people like the first one. Some people like using black. Nice, nice. Okay, so we are gonna play, look at this. This is like, I don't know how they do it. It's almost like a material on the back that has all this glitter. Look at that. And if you rub it really hard, yes, you can get pieces off, but it's pretty difficult to get them off. Like, look, it's not really coming off of my hands. If you went like, if you took your scraper across it, yeah, you could scrape it off, but it's sealed pretty good. I mean, it's nice. So I'm going to show you, it's really thick. It's a little hard to die cut. So I'm going to show you how to die cut it. And if you're just joining us, while I get the things that we need for this, I'll set out the cards we've just completed. If you're on a replay later, just tell me which of these two cards you like. And then make sure that we're looking at your Paper Insider products today. So make sure if you're going shopping there that you use the exclusive coupon code for this week. So these are the cards that we've done so far. We're about to use this beautiful one here. I'm getting the supplies together. Okay, so what I thought on this one, I thought, what if I had some crazy glittery, crazy glittery balloons. Question, can you show the bone folder? Yes, I can show a bone folder. Okay, all right. So I think that she wants to see, this is a bone folder. It just helps you score cards and press folds. So they come in all different companies make them, but Rachel said to show a bone folder. So I'm not sure what was going on in the comments, but that's what it is. Okay, so we are going to be using this set from Paper Tray Ink next. Get some stuff off, and we'll use a few things from Paper Tray Ink. I'm going to get a little sip of water while I'm getting this stuffed out. And we're not going to stamp on this. We're going to cut it out. So what I did is this comes with die cuts. So I grabbed a balloon die cut and the nice star die cut. And I'm gonna cut them out of this amazing glitter paper and show you a couple of things that are really awesome. Oh, okay, sorry. My Paper Insider box came with a bone folder as a gift. So, um, Charlotte, I'm not sure. Mine did not come with a bone folder. I don't know if that's for certain months you've had a subscription or what. Let's see if she'll answer that one for us. I'm sorry. I didn't know what you were saying, Rachel. Okay, so we're only going to need a small portion of this. So I'm going to cut what we need here because I don't want to send all of this through my die cutting machine. Oh, look at that. That's perfect. Okay, we're just going to do 2 balloons. So I'm just going to kind of cut through here. And you'll see when I'm cutting it, I mean, I'm using my big scissors. It's a thick piece of paper, okay? So that means we're going to need to work on it with our dies, okay? But look at how cute these balloons are going to look. Oh my goodness. So these are the dies that go with the Scribble Balloons stamps. So if you have some dies of any type of balloons, I just thought that glittery balloons would be amazing. Oh yay, so y'all got it. So some people get a gift with their subscription as a bone folder. So bone folders are very helpful. That's nice. Nice paper, your Paper Insider. And I promised that I would show y'all a quick glimpse too of these if I didn't mess them up. So my next card class that's coming out is for the Cardmaking Stash Summit, and I thought I would give you a quick little preview. I know I just knocked this friend off, so I have to adjust it a little bit, of a beginner to advanced embossing folders. So there are free tickets, there are paid tickets. Just make sure that you look in the chat and sign up for that because it's next weekend. And I'm going to be doing tons of special classes for that, so I want to make sure you're there. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try it on a sandwich. This is my regular die cutting sandwich, and I'm going to add a piece of paper over it just to give it a little extra pressure. Okay, so this is very thick and the pressure helps. So I'm going to just stick a scrap piece of paper over it, and we're going to run it through like we would any other die. So let's send it through the die cutting machine. And we'll see how that did. Okay, so that's actually kind of cool. It gives you a little impression from running it, getting all that extra pressure. And look at all those. You can make your own textured paper just by running it over the glitter paper. Look at that. You see that texture? Sorry. That's pretty cool. Oh, that could actually be fun in itself. So anyway, just a little discovery there. Let's see how we did. So this glitter is so chunky that it may not make the perfect defined shape. So I'm going to show you. You see that it did cut it, but we need to carefully remove this, okay? So there's still going to be just a little bit of connection there because of this. So I'm going to go around the back and add a little bit of my pointy tool and just kind of trace them, okay, to disconnect it. And it's mostly cut. It's mostly cut, but I'm going to do this just to make sure I've got all those little fibers, because the back almost feels like paper mache or something. It's really nice. So I'm just going to kind of go around. Yes, you can run it through a couple times if you want. That would probably work too. I'm just tracing mine. We'll see how we do. And I'm just tracing it with a pointy tool. But you know, I don't mind working for paper this amazing. Sometimes you have to do a few little extra things to get it ready, but it is beautiful. Okay. Okay, it's freeing itself up now. I'll do the top of it. And I'm just slowly kind of pushing on it as I do this to free it. Just kind of pressing on it, and then we'll punch out that little shape, okay? And then we're gonna go and we're gonna trim the shape, because you'll have pieces of glitter that kind of stick off of the edge because this is so many layers of chunky glitter. So you'll have some layers. Let me show you on like a white page what I mean, because you may not see it easily. So You see how there's little chunks that stick off that keep this from being kind of the shape that it was? I'm going to take some fine scissors and we're going to cut that off to make it the perfect shape. So just know you may have little pieces because this is so many layers of glitter. Sometimes you have little pieces that come off, they're stuck in chunks and it looks like you didn't cut that edge well, but it is cut. You just need to kind of do a little trimming. Okay, let's see. So tell me, are you making Valentine's cards? Do you do that, or are you already on to just making other cards for the year? Anybody out there doing Valentine's cards this weekend? It's a great weekend for it with all this weather. I sure hope all y'all are safe during that weather. Maybe I should come up with a slogan like "Stay safe, just stay in and craft." I'm sure I could make that better. For your safety, craft this weekend. Okay, you see how it sticks off of that little balloon right there? At first I thought, oh no, it's not gonna die cut, but what it is it's layers of glitter. So I just took some scissors and went around the edges and trimmed off those little extra parts that are sticking out. You see what I mean? And now I've got a nice edge. I'm just following the balloon. Yeah, okay, so somebody said I need to drop my glue tip in boiling water. I will do that. Who said that? What's that? Creativity from Blueberry Hill? That's a good idea. I'm gonna try it. Okay. All right, and so I'm just trimming up the edges where the glitter sticks off because I want this to be for sure a balloon, okay? I want it to look like a balloon and be the right shape. So I just kind of went along the edge and trimmed any little extra pieces off. And you'll see I got a few right there. So now it looks more like a balloon to me. There's one piece sticking off right here. Okay. But now we have the glitteriest balloon to ever live. Isn't that amazing? I love glitter balloons. This would be fun with hearts too. But I think this is like the perfect paper for birthday cards. So that's what I was feeling. I was feeling inspired by it as birthday cards. So I'm going to trim around the nice star balloon as well. Yeah, it is. We do lots of things to use pretty paper. It's so fun though. I don't know. I get so excited about paper. I don't know why, but I mean, it just like makes me so excited. Is anybody else like that where you're just like, yeah, awesome paper? I think I could just be a collector of paper for sure. But I don't want to collect it. I want to send it out to people because it's just going to I want to make sure I use it too. Which is why I'm doing this live stream, to help you all use it a little bit better. Okay, so I'm getting my little edges off. And you know, glitter is metal, so sometimes it doesn't, like I said, it's got so many layers, you may have to do a little trimming. But I don't mind trimming at all. Here's my little balloon. Okay, so we got some trim pieces, and then we got our two balloons. Look at how sparkly they are. Isn't that perfect? Yes, thank you, Patty. I thought that was a perfect balloon too as well. I thought it was perfect. All right, so I'm gonna get this. So you see, it is a chunky glitter, but you do get a little bit of glitter in your space, you know, if you're using it, you see. But I was able to keep mine all pretty much right here. So I cut off those little edges, and now I'm gonna dump that in the trash before I dump it on my clothes. And we're gonna see if our other parts of this card are finished and dry yet so that we can put them there. So what I just used to cut that out were the dies for the scribble balloons from Paper Tray Ink. Oh, thank you, Rachel. That was very sweet. I appreciate you doing that. She did a super chat. Thank you. Yeah. I've got to try a Sizzix machine. I have not tried that yet. Okay, let's see if this is dry. Okay, I'm going to test up here because I may chop just a little edge off of it. Yeah, that is actually dry. Okay, so our dots are dry. This is our metallic purple paper. Look at those dots. We created these dots. If you're just coming into the stream, we created these with a paste. This is just like a little cooking sheet. I got this idea from Tiffany Solario, and it's nice to let things dry. It holds them up off the ground a little bit, and it's good size for cards. So she got this, I think it's from Amazon. I do have an Amazon shop that it's probably in, but it's just a great little tool to dry things on. Okay, so look at this. We're gonna do even more to this because it's so cute. So I'm gonna cut off this little edge because I didn't do my stencil all the way to that edge. So I'm gonna do a little trimming, and then we're gonna add some vellum to this. We're gonna be using this set to create a rounded middle to show off these balloons. And I'm gonna trim this little edge here so we got it trimmed down. Yeah, I have never tried a big shot switch, so I would like to try that. So we're gonna cut off this little edge here. Okay, that makes it look a little bit more even. Okay, all right. Now I'm gonna find the vellum in the pack, and we're gonna do a piece of vellum, and that's just to show off our balloons. Sometimes they just look so nice with a little bit of something behind them to make them really pop. So I'm going to use this rounded rectangle die cut, and I'm going to, can you see it's got little pierced stuff in it? That's from Paper Tray Ink. Okay. Yeah, the purple paper is super fun. The other thing that I did too, I did the blue cardstock, and I'm going to show you at the end. So don't miss what else I've done with this foil paper, because I started a card with it, and that's going to end up going in a video with this other thing. So we need our vellum. So let me look for the vellum really quick. And then I'm going to sneak peek the other cards that I made with this paper release in the end of the video as well. And those will be in a separate video in a couple of weeks. So let me see if I can find the vellum. If not, I'll grab myself a piece of vellum. Okay, this is the other paper that we were looking at. I'm going to show you some cool cards made with this one. I love that one. Oh, so pretty. Okay, let's see if I can find my vellum piece. Here it is. Here it is. There's the vellum. So that vellum comes in this pack as well. Now we're just going to make ourselves a little die cut of this vellum, and that's going to be kind of our frame on the card. So let me cut out a piece that works. I tend to cut my vellum up so that I don't wrinkle it. If you send the whole piece through the die cutting machine that you don't need, sometimes you'll wrinkle pieces, so I just am careful to cut out what I need. Okay, let's send this through a die cutting machine. Thank you so much, Rachel. She's putting all kinds of stuff up there for me. So do you plan, I'd love to know, do you plan out your cards, or do you just kind of see what comes to you with your supplies out in front of you? I'd like to know like how your plan usually works, because I'm not sure if I am normal or not, but I tend to look at the supplies and get inspired by the supplies more so than making an actual card plan ahead of time. There are times that I do make a card plan ahead of time, but I'd love to hear how your thought process works when you're making. Yes, so asking some more questions about embossing folders and different, it's gonna take just a second. Sorry, that means I have to scroll down a little bit whenever it flips on to just me for some reason. Okay, okay, so somebody plans first. Becky plans first. Okay, we're gonna sit this through here. I'm gonna cut that vellum. Vellum's easy to cut. All right, so we got our vellum. And look at that, it's got this nice little edge to it because it's got that dotted spot. But when I put this, look what happens when you put this in front of the foil card. Let me get all this stuff out of the way. And this is from Rounded Rectangles Pierced and that's Paper Tray Ink. That's awesome, Judy. I do that sometimes too. But I guess the nature of this being my job is that sometimes I just, supplies arrive and I get kind of inspired just playing with them. So see how this is going to still show our background, but give us a little bit of difference so that we can show off these balloons. Look at that. Is that cool or what? The other thing that makes these balloons really stand out is adding a white highlight. And I'm going to show you how I did that. But we're going to do this. And then if you have any, if you're making along with us for some reason, I'm also going to be using, I found this purple twine. It's from Lawn Fawn. I may not have put this on the list, but it's just some twine that's going to be our strings. And I just thought it matched perfectly. So just wanted to mention it because it's beautiful. And it says twine, it's just called purple hemp twine. Okay, so if you got some purple string, that's always good to make your balloons. I'm not gonna glue this vellum on except behind the balloons so that I can use that as a space. So I'm gonna set these two things aside. We're gonna add some white details to the balloons. We're gonna add their strings to them, and then we'll put the rest of the card together. Now the original card that I made, I grabbed this sentiment out of a drawer. So we'll use a different sentiment, but I'm gonna show you. Can you see how that has a white highlight on it? It just helps the balloons show up better. I'm going to show you how I did that. And then let's look at a couple of things that I promised I would sneak for you. Okay, remember that white paper in this pack? I tried stamping on it, and I also added splatter to it. Look at how that turned out. It's got like a sparkly splatter. So I didn't complete a card, but I just wanted to preview. I've got some really fun cards with this paper coming up in a new video too, okay? All right, let's see. So to make the white spots, if you had a white paint pen, that would work. I'm going to use this bleed-proof white. I'm going to go ahead and glue my twine on the back so that I don't have to flip it over while this, this paint is drying. So I'm just going to give myself some adequate length of this twine and go ahead and add it with a double-sided adhesive. It's going to be too much twine, but we'll trim it later. Good idea. Good. So if you're just joining in, make sure you check the comments for the coupon code, or if you're in the replay, check in the description and the pinned comment for that coupon code because it's only good this weekend at your Paper Insider. It's $5 off your purchase. So just FYI. Okay. I'm going to use a little bit of double-sided adhesive, and I know this is a thick one, but I want it to hold that twine really well. So here's what I'm going to do. Just line it up and add some adhesive. Thank you, Rachel. She's throwing in the affiliate links in there. If you don't know what affiliate links are, they're just links that you go through that help support me. They give me a little bit of commission if you buy anything. And they don't cost you anything extra. So if you're ever wondering why people are saying affiliate links, that's why. So I can keep bringing you free content. All right, so now we've got strings on our balloons. Okay, so we got the strings. I'm gonna make a few little white highlights. Just like when you look at a balloon, you know how it usually does that? I'm gonna do a little bit of that with this. So I'm gonna use this acrylic white paint, and I'm gonna add a little bit of highlights for those. I'll answer some questions. I have to have a sip of something. And I'm going to use an acrylic block to add some paint to. And I'm not going to do a whole lot of water, but I'm just going to spray a little bit of water into it just to make it a little bit more mobile. We'll see. So I use the end of my paintbrush, and then I'm going to get this paint just ever so slightly wet, like just a little bit, because we need it pretty thick to show up on these, but I need my brush to pick it up. So I'm just going to get some paint, and I'm going to add to the side some little highlights for the balloons. And I know you may not really notice these, but I really think it does make your balloons show up even better, especially all that color. And it's just little white marks. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can do a couple of them. I think on mine I did 2 or 3 per balloon just to give it a little bit of excitement. So I think I did one down here too. And just having that matte white kind of helps a little bit. I'm just going to do 2 on this one. And it's nothing real fancy. It just gives it that little bit of highlight that makes me think it's a balloon. So I'm going to do the same up here. Okay, and just do a little bit along this part. And this is paint, so it will need a minute to dry, but it doesn't take long. I'm going to go here. Let me go down in here too. We'll do 2 on this one. And you don't have to be super neat. It just kind of helps highlight the beauty of it and just really make it seem more like a balloon. Okay, so just a couple white highlights, nothing major. Just thought I'd show you what I did because I thought it looked really nice. So we'll let that dry. I'm going to put my paint top back on, put this in some water. Okay, so we've got that. Those are drying. This one I'm going to wipe off. Let's see if we got any questions. Yeah, this paint is like, I think you can buy it at most craft places. I don't think there's any, I mean, you can actually buy it at Amazon. So I know it's in my Amazon store too. But like Blick or maybe even Michael's. I'm going to make a mess with it on my hands here. Just wipe my hands off. Okay. Yeah, I understand, Curly Girl. That's fun making cards as I go. Yeah, the affiliate links are helpful, you know, just to help me get all my supplies and things that I need to make stuff for you and, you know, run things like programs and have this program that lets me be live. So all that is helpful for me, and I appreciate you so much for doing that. Okay, so we've got this. Let me wipe off my counter here, and we're going to attach it to the vellum, and we'll figure out what we want our sentiment to be. So we're going to do this. I'm going to sneak some of the cards that are going to be in the next video while I'm kind of setting this one up. Let me sneak some of those. First sneak that I'm going to do is we talked about foil paper and other ways to use it. Look at what we did. Look at what I did with this one. This one will probably be in the next video. This is the blue paper. Let's see if you can tell what I did. Can you tell? That's a cover plate. And the gold splatter is from foundry wax. So super fun. I'm going to make this one a birthday card as well. I think I'm going to do a big cake on it. So that's coming up soon. Just stay tuned. There'll be a video on how I did all that. That is also in this paper pack. So let's set up these on here. And these already have some double-sided adhesive on them, so I can just take that off and put them on the vellum pretty quickly. So just arrange them how you want them to be. I think I'm going to go here. Get this one off. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one like right here. Seems good. Or do I want to go higher? I'll go like right here. Okay. And then we'll undo the adhesive backing on this one. So if you hadn't done it yet, hit the thumbs up for me so that more people will see the replay. If you're on replay, tell us what you're loving. Which of these papers is your favorite? We did this with box 13 as well. If you want to go back and see other papers and get even more inspiration, we played with this is box 14, but we did a live stream with box 13 as well, and it turned out so good. It was so fun. So now I've got my beautiful balloons here. I've got my strings that I'll trim down, but I can add some adhesive on the back of these, and then you won't see it through my vellum. You see? So you could even do, if you wanted to, you could do foam tape, but I think you get a better look making it against this because you can see those polka dots so much better. I think those look good. I think it's almost time for Rachel to head out, so she's getting all the links in for everybody. So she's putting all the links of everything we sold about. Thank you so much, Rachel. You're so sweet. She helps me out so much. I appreciate her. Y'all check her out. It's Card Refinery, and she's Rachel, and she does cards as well, and just is really nice to help me out. I'm going to put this on some plastic in case that bleed proof white is not completely dry. So I'm going to put it on some plastic and add some adhesive to the back of these. This adhesive is from Altenew. It's a great double-sided adhesive. I really love it. It works. It really does hold well. It's a nice adhesive. If you're ready to up your adhesive game. All right. So once we put this one together, I'm going to show you what's coming up in a new video with some more of these papers, and we'll talk through more of the papers in the pack. So stay tuned. Let's get our balloons on here. Try to make it even here. I'm just kind of doing it from feel. I'd love to know, do y'all use a ruler when you do this, or do you just kind of do it by looks? I'm just going to do it. I'm winging it. I think it did pretty good too. I think it's pretty level. Isn't that pretty good? Okay, and then I'm going to put a sentiment over the bottom of these strings. So I'm going to try to make my strings cross a little bit just so you see them more. So I'm going to try to cross them, and then I'm going to pin a sentiment across the middle right here so that it holds them like that. And I'm going to make them about the length of this card. So if I need to trim more, I can. I need some better scissors for this kind of stuff. This is a little bit hard material. So on the other card, thank you, Rachel. So Rachel's heading out. So Charlotte will be providing links now. If you have questions, just ask Charlotte, okay? Thank you, Rachel. I appreciate you being here. All right, so we've got those nice and lapped, and then let's see, we've got so many different birthday sentiments. I was looking at this set. I like You're a Superstar. I think that's pretty cute. You could also do this happy birthday that comes with the set and put it right there. That would work fine. I ended up using, let me show you on my original if I can find it. I ended up using this one, which looks nice, just something to strings. This one, I don't know where it came from. I think this might be Honeybee Stamps, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So I'm so sorry. I don't know where it was in my drawer, and I just used it. So it worked fine. So we got both of these. I'm not going to worry about stamping the sentiment because I want to show you some other cards too. So this is how they ended up. You see we have those white highlights right there. I think it just makes it look beautiful. I'm going to hold this way up. You see that? Look at how beautiful. Oh, I love it. And that paste that we used on it dried pretty fast. I mean, we were doing the live and it dried. So it's the Texture Paste Opaque Matte. So if you need something that dries pretty quick so that you can use it, this worked great on this foil paper. So that's what we used. This I got, and this is actually one of my first times using it, and I really love the way that it dries fast. It did a great job. Oh, Patty, you'd love to have that card. I have to send you that for your birthday. All right, so I'm going to move these out of the way and show you what's coming, okay? Because I did some more things with this box. We talked about this already. I used this metallic paper, this beautiful blue metallic, and I used a cover plate, okay? So you can cut through these metallic papers and do some really fun stuff. Let me show you the cover plate. This is the one that I used from Paper Tray Ink. It's called Handmade Quilt. And do you see how it just creates some dotted lines? And it looks so nice on that metallic paper. And then I used some foundry wax, which is this. If you haven't used it before, you can use it like splatter, and then you can just put it on here, and then I heated it. So even though it's foil paper, you can still heat it carefully. So I'll show that in a video soon too. Yes, I do. Laura said, do you ever pre-make sentiments so they're ready to go? Yes, I do. I have a drawer of them. Sometimes I just forget where they came from. That's the only problem about pre-making them, is I'm not sure which company they came from. It probably doesn't matter for most of you, but for me, people want to know the link to where it came from. So sometimes I don't do as many of them that way because I'm just not sure that I'll be able to keep up with them. I try to put them in the backs of different stamp sets, but I don't get them out and use them as much as I could. So that's another way to use your foil. Consider doing a cover plate, super fun. That's in this box as well. And then next, our cards are going to be using this. This is a hemp paper, I believe. Charlotte can correct me on that or not, but it's a hemp paper with this nice pattern. So it is a little see-through, but I use this in multiple ways, and each side is slightly different. So here's what I did, and this is coming in its own pre-recorded video, okay, because I didn't want to stretch the live out too long. One thing I did was stamp on it. So you can stamp on it. It is a delicate paper. And then I used the Distress Spritz, and I thought this looked beautiful. I feel like you could just put this on a piece of paper, add a sentiment, and you're done. So I'll probably do that and put that on social media so you can see how I finished out this card. And this stamp is the same one that we used right here. It's the same stamp, okay? Just on a different kind of textured paper. So very nice, very fun, okay? That is coming soon. Now, here's another thing that I did with this. I made these, okay? This uses one side of the paper. Can you see how you've got that beautiful color there? It's using that paper and some ink blending and a few little tips and tricks. And I used it here. This is a different side of the paper, so you don't see the flowers quite as much, but you see the texture, and they do turn out slightly different. So I'm going to create an entire video on this one. So this will be coming out on my channel as a pre-recorded video. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you've hit like so other people see this video. I know we've got some people here, and this is coming in the next couple of weeks. It's using this paper out of your box number 14, and that will be out soon. The other things that we made in the live stream. So I'm just going to lay them all out so you can see what we used. There's still so many papers in this box. We used this beautiful paper here. We used, sorry. And Charlotte, if you want to put in the names of the paper, that's fine. Let's show you what all we used here. We used this beautiful textured paper, and that's where we came up with this lovely card. So we used this paper and this paper. Then on our purple card, let's see if I can find our purple paper. We used the purple metallic. Isn't that beautiful? So pretty. That purple metallic. And then we used our beautiful glittery paper. Look at that stacked glitter. That's what we cut our balloons out of. And made this. So made that card. It's kind of hard to see that card on the purple, but we'll put it here. Made this beautiful card today. There will definitely be a replay, and there is a coupon today that is $5 off a purchase at your Paper Insider. If you like trying new companies, you need to check out their paper. It is super fun. Then I also showed you a couple more that are coming soon. So this paper, I used a cover plate and some foundry wax, and that is one of the metallic blues that's in this pack. And then I used this paper to create 2 rainbow themed cards that will be in a new video coming soon. I also created a fun stamp on that paper right here. So just consider using your textured paper as you can. It is very nice to use the texture and to see that through here. Sorry, I think she's answering a couple questions. Thank you, Linda. So these 2 will be coming out in their own video very soon, so stay tuned for that. I will be on my channel every Friday, either pre-recorded or live stream, so make sure that you set that date in your calendar if you like watching my videos. And then I'm also going to be at the Cardmaking Stash Summit. That is next weekend, and I'll be doing special events for the VIP ticket. So there's a free ticket and there's a VIP ticket. The VIP ticket is the paid ticket. I will be doing co-working sessions. I will be doing Zooms with coffee chats. We'll be hanging out. I have at least 3 different sessions at that summit, and I would love to see you there. So I hope that you enjoyed these cards. Tell me in the comments which of the two is your favorite. Which one would you definitely make and try out? And what in this stream was new to you? Have you ever used paste on metallic paper? Have you ever stamped on textured paper? I'd love to know what was stuck out to you in this. Have you ever glued your fibrous paper to something else to make it a little bit more able to be die cut? Sorry, I can't come up with the words right now. So just tell me in the comments all these things, and make sure you check the pinned comment and the description for the coupon code. That is this weekend only, Nicki 5 off, and it'll take $5 off your purchase at your Paper Insider, which I put in the bottom corner right here so that you could see how it was spelled. It's definitely worth checking out, and make sure you use my affiliate links for that. Any questions, anything else anybody needs? I'm just going to try to wrap it up for you today. Tell me if you need more live streams on paper use. I love using paper. If you are big paper fans, let me know so I can know what you're looking and what kind of papers you struggle with. So I would love to hear all of that. Yes. Okay. So Tammy says she loves the birthday card. Awesome. Awesome. I love that birthday card too. I really love this glittery paper. Oh my goodness. Look at that stacked glitter. It's like you see it and it's almost unbelievable how thick that glitter is. It's so awesome. Just amazing paper. So thank you, your Paper Insider, for offering the coupon code. We appreciate that so much. And I hope to see all of you on the channel again. I hope that you've hit subscribe and like. And I'm going to set these out so you can look at them again by themselves and see them a little bit better. And if you have questions later, I'll check out the replay and answer questions there as well. Yeah, pattern paper. Pattern paper is always a little bit of a struggle. I understand that for sure. Thank you, Becky. And thanks so much, Patty. I'm so glad you made it. So much paper. We will play with that paper. Awesome. So that person would make both cards. Nice. So I hope that all of you are safe. And as I said earlier in the thing, if you have bad weather this weekend, why don't you make some cards? Let's get ahead on those cards. It's a great stay inside, drink some hot chocolate, some coffee, and enjoy just watching that snow out the window. All right. Thank you so much for being here. I hope all of you have a great day, and I will see you soon. Bye.